Hey guys, this is the time again where the spoilers are going to be coming out. This one really definitely crept up on me. The set was pretty much spoiled all within the span of only 2 weeks, so I was very surprised that they just pretty much released the entire set within the first 2 weeks. But anyways, I digress. I took the Gohan deck and I decided to find a deck list on DBS Deck Planet, and I found one with and I tweaked the deck a little bit to where it gives down to 50 cards. So I'm going to be doing a turn-by-turn play, and I'll try to get through all the leaders within the set before the set gets released. So the first of this video series is going to be Sun Gohan. That's going to be the Beast Gohan. So for those of you guys who don't know what it does, on the front side, if it attacks, it draws a card. And then you can alternatively awaken. Well, you can also awaken at 4, but if that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is that he awakens if your opponent has a red pan on their side of the field. You're able to alternatively awaken, draw 2, and then take life till you have 6. Okay, so on the awaken side, this allows you to draw a card whenever your Son Gohan or Piccolo SH attacks and draws a card. So this way, whenever you attack with your battle card, you can swing. So this way, you can draw on the front side by attacking with it, and when you're awakened, draw 2, swing your battle card and draw again. So this way you can generate a +4 on your awakening turn. Also, alternatively, at the end of turn, you get to switch out your red Piccolo SH card to active mode. So a lot of the Piccolos in this deck have blocker. So at the end of your turn, after you swing with them, you can just restand it. This also has the ability to go into the Z leader by simply activating one of your Piccolo's blocker skill, or it gets removed off the board by your opponent's skill. This makes it so that your blocker always guarantees you that you can Z Awaken. The only issue is that if you play against yellow, they can rest him, and then you'll have to manually Z Awaken, because if they can easily rest a battle card, because all the Piccolos don't have barrier, as a side note, then it's going to be very difficult to awaken with the Z leader unless you do it manually. The way you do it manually is, I'll show you guys. The way you do it manually is if you have a 2 Z energy, you can just place this 2 Z energy in the drop area, and you also have to be at 3 or less life to do it. That's how you do it manually against yellow, assuming that the yellow leader doesn't have a way to rest consistently. I know a lot of different ways to rest battle cards in yellow. If you're still playing against Ape Coup decks, Ape Coup can just rest your guy because that's what the leader does. When it swings, it just rests all the battle cards that are not leader, or all the cards that are not leader cards. But anyways, we're gonna go through the game by game play videos just to show you what the deck does. So we're gonna go back to the front side here, and then we're gonna draw. I'll tell you guys what cards you want to keep in your mulligan, just so that you know what to keep when you do play the game. The one you want to keep is this guy. This guy is really good because you could play your Piccolo bestowed power. It's basically the Piccolo chain. The mini Piccolo chain. When you play the bestial power, you want to be able to activate the field spell, which allows you to awaken. So I'll show you guys how to awaken. But first things first, we're gonna keep our mulligan. We're gonna keep the pan here. You want to keep at least one pan in your hand because you want to get a cantrip. A cantrip just basically means when you play the card, you draw a card, it'll get top 5 cards. So we're gonna put away this card. Keep one of these. We don't need the others. So these are the 3 pretty much good cards that you might need. So you're gonna draw 3. And then that's good. And then you're gonna put the life out. Okay, so you're gonna start the turn off by charging this card. You don't really need to activate this card ever in the game. It's just a good form of removal in the mid game, but you can play it if you want. You're gonna play the pan here, and then you're gonna draw a card. So now that you've drawn, so now you're gonna pass turn, and then you're just gonna start your turn again. After you take a life off, well, you're not gonna take a life. You're gonna combo away the pan when they try to swing at you. You're gonna Z charge the pan here. Okay, and then you draw for turn. So the thing about this card, I want to warn you guys that if you do use the ability to return a pan back to your hand, you want to be careful about using its ability because a lot of the Piccolos in your deck require that you have a pan on your opponent's side. Use this card cautiously because once you remove the pan off your opponent's side of the board, it's really hard to put the pan back unless you play 2 of the extra card. So I'll show you guys what the extra card is. Okay, so this is the card that you want to start in order to help you awaken. What it does is if you have 2 or more energy and this card is placed in your battle area, you can play a Sun Gohan All-Out Explosion from your deck. And then you're going to play a pan on your opponent's side. So this is the only card in your deck, in your Z deck and your main deck, that allows you to play Pan on your opponent's side of the board. This is going to help you awaken because in order to awaken with the leader, you have to have a Pan on your opponent's side and then draw 2 cards. So just to reiterate. Okay, so you're going to charge, I think I'm going to charge one of these because you only really need one. So now that you have a Pan in the Z energy, you're going to pay the 1 energy to drop the Pan into the drop area. You're going to find your battle, I guess. Battle of the Red Ribbon Army. I'm not sure if this is a field spell or a field card, so if another field card gets played, does it get set to the drop? For you guys to know in the comment section, let me know. But anyways, what it does is when it's placed in the battle area, you get to play a Gohan. So that's what you'll do. You're gonna play this Gohan, and good thing I only have one left in my deck. Okay, cool. So he's out. And on top of that, you get to play a Pan on your opponent's side. So you're gonna pick this Pan because all she does is draw a card. The cool thing about this pan or all the pans in your deck is that they can't combo with her because unless you're playing the mirror match, which is probably going to happen, if it's on your opponent's side, they can't use it as a combo. So you can swing willy-nilly, and you don't have to worry about them coming in this way. So you can just keep this on the board. I guess in like meta, if this deck ever becomes meta, they can counterplay the pan from coming out if they do play the battle with the Red Army. Because Pan is only like a 4K, so it's really easy to counterplay her and make sure that your leader doesn't awaken. But that's going to be for like the future meta game if it ever becomes meta. So you have the Pan out now. Now you can awaken the leader. But before you awaken with the leader, you can actually swing with him, draw a card, and then you can awaken. The reason why you want to do that is because on the backside, when you do awaken, whenever one of your Gohans or Piccolo swings, you get to draw a card. So this way it allows you to get a +4. One on the front side, two for the draw, two for the awaken, and then one for the Piccolo swing or the Gohan swing. So he's going to be hitting for 15k, and then you're going to be, yeah, they take a damage. Then you can swing with this guy. He does have barrier, which is cool. You're going to swing with him, and then you're going to draw a card because of your leader ability. And then that's it. Pretty much you could pass with 1 energy open. It's really easy to pass with 1 energy open. Oh, I forgot to mention, you do take life until you have 6, because that's what the leader does when it awakens. So you do have the ability to tap out against most decks because most decks are slower now. And so you could play the pan or you can keep the energy open for your counterplay or your counterattack cards such as King Vegeta's Imposing Presence. Or you can play this card like Unending Awaken, which gives your Saiyan leader +5 and it also negates the attack. So there's lots of ways that you could pretty much bank on leaving energy open. I do play this SCR. This SCR allows you to Z Awaken, but only for 1 turn, and allows your leader to get a 20k, basically a 20k for the battle. And this allows you to basically stunt your opponent from attacking you with battle cards and unisons that are 25k or more. So this is a really good way to like survive against them for the whole turn. The only drawback is that your Z leader gets removed from the game at the end of your turn, which is why I play 2 copies of Sun Gohan Awakening the Beast, just in case I do draw the SCR and I use them to pretty much protect myself against aggro decks. This way I can manually awaken or I can use my leader's backside to be able to Z Awaken. So that's like 2 ways you can Z Awaken his deck, or 3 I guess. There's 3 ways to Z Awaken by doing it manually, one by your backside leader ability, and one by your SCR, which is called your Bursting Rage. So that's 3 ways to Z Awaken. So this deck is really going to be Z Awakening every game, in my opinion, because there's so many ways to do it. So for the intensive learning, I'm going to be paying the 1 energy to play the pan so they can draw a card. I can also play this Gohan too. Yeah, so we're going to pay 1 energy to play the pan. There's several moves you can do with that 1 energy. You can either play one of the Piccolo Bestowed Power, but he's necessary for your Piccolo chain. You want to be on the Piccolo, the second form of the Piccolo chain, so that you could Z Awaken. So you don't want to actually leave him out there and be vulnerable, and you don't mind losing a pan. So the pan lets you draw a card at least when she comes into play, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to draw a card when she comes into play, and we have a pretty good hand so far to pretty much make our turns last. So for our opponent's turn, most likely they're going to be swinging at you. You can probably Z charge. You actually do want to Z charge because when you do Z Awaken, you want to have at least one Z energy to be able to play the special beam cannon inherited power. What he does is when he's placed into to the leader area, you can play a special beam cannon inherited power by placing one of your Z energies. So you could theoretically just place Pan into the drop area from the Z energy just to play this. So that's going to allow you to pretty much have a game finisher. Okay, most likely Gohan's going to die here because he's now in rest mode. So we're just going to pretend he's dead. And then you charge the Z, you Z charge the Pan, and then you take damage or something. Uh, and then you just draw a card. So now you have the power beyond awakening. This is the Piccolo that's going to help you awaken or Z awaken. And so we're going to start our turn here. So now they have 3 energy. You can actually just play a lot of the cards that you need. We're going to charge this one just for the since we already have 2 copies of it. Play bestowed power Piccolo. When this card is played, you can negate something by 20k. You don't really need to remove the pen yet because they can't do anything. And then from there, when you do play the bestowed power, you can use the field spell or the whatever this card is categorized as to look for a bestowed power. But since you already have one in your hand, you don't really have to do that. This is just in case that you don't draw it. You can just add it to your hand and then bottom deck something. So you can hand fix essentially. But we're not going to do that because we're going to need this for later in case we do have another bestowed power. You're going to swing with Piccolo here, and then you're going to draw a card using the leader's backside. So that allows you to get a +1, and then you hit swing for 15. Then from there, you're going to EX evolve onto this guy on top of this guy. And when he's EX evolve, he actually restands himself, gets a +5, and draws a card. So this way you can swing again after drawing. And then you could, yeah, swing again, pretty much. Then it says here that if you do have a Beast Roar in your field and you rest this guy, your opponent can't activate blockers. So this allows you to swing with this guy. This is the Beast Roar card. So swing with this guy without being blocked. So you're going to swing with the 25k. You used up 2 energy. And then at the end of turn, you're going to swing with your leader, and then at the end of turn, you're going to restand him. Additionally, you could use the last energy to pay for play a battle card, but you're not going to because you want to survive for the next turn. So that's what's going to happen. You're going to have a 5 life, 1 energy open. You're going to have this card for negation. You have the imposing presence, and then you have the and then you even have this card too. For every Z energy cost of your Z cards in your leader area or battle area, you can reduce the cost by 1 for each one. So if you have a Z battle card, you can reduce this guy to 1, but we're not going to be using him just yet. You also have a pan in the Z energy, so if you do ever do awaken and you have 1 Z energy, you can just play this guy for 1 as a counter play. So, but that's not going to happen right now. So you're going to restand the Piccolo at the end of turn using your leader ability, and then when you ever use blocker ability to block an attack with this guy, or he gets removed off the board because your opponent has removal, this will trigger your leader ability to be able to Z awaken. So that's what's going to happen. Just in the case your opponent tries to go crazy, you're going to activate testing the opposition. You're going to go down to 4 life anyways with the Z, with your leader's backside ability. So you're just going to take the damage. So what you're going to do is you're going to block, pretty much negate every attack. Negate again with this, paying 1 energy, get a +5 here. And then you've already blocked an attack. You can combo out of attack. Looks like here that I don't have a super combo in my hand, so I could be using negations, but that's fine. So at the end of turn now, you're going to be able to Z Awaken. So you're going to Z Awaken because that's what he does. Okay, so you're Z Awaken now. He's overlaid. And then what he does is when he's placed in the leader area, you can place the pan in the drop area, and then you can look through your Z deck for a special beam cannon. Alright, so now we're going to be in overdrive here. So this card right here, whenever you swing with one of your Gohan SH or your leader swings, you can just give it either 20k power, depending on what it is. If it's your leader that's swinging, it gets an extra 20k power, and then remove it from the game at the end of the yeah. So basically, when you use this ability, your Z leader gets removed from play, and then if you swing it with your Beast Roar, which you will play on turn 4, then he gets he gets a 15k in double strike. So very strong cards for sure. So we're gonna pretend that we're gonna start our turn. We are gonna start our turn. I'm sorry. So we're gonna restand everybody. So now we have our Gohan here, which is able to put a lot of pressure on. So we're gonna pressure our opponents now. We're gonna draw for turn. We're now gonna charge. We're gonna charge this Gohan right here, and now we have 4 energy. We can swing. We can play the Bison first. So that's what we'll do. And with the Beast Song for 2 energy, you can only play it when you're at 4. You get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and then next it by 30. And then if you have a Special Beam Inherited Power, limit 1, whenever your opponent activates a counter skill, then their leader loses 5k power for the whole turn. So that's really good. So you want to play this card first because in case they counterplay, then they'll lose 5k. Or they counterattack, whatever. Because if you do have a battle card such as Piccolo here, you can actually just swing with them, and then their leader has a minus 5k. At this point, if they do have a blocker, you can actually just rest the Piccolo, and then this way that when he does swing, then they can't activate blocker skill. So that's pretty much cool. Uh, so let's say they have a token negate. So let's say you attack with this and they token negate. Their leader actually loses the 5k for the turn, and they can restand this guy because he has dual attack. And then now that they have a blocker token, you can actually just rest the Piccolo here to rest or so that they can't combo with the token blocker. And then when you actually swing with this guy for the second time, you can actually just pay the 1 energy to send this off for move this in play, and he gets like 15k power and double strike. So he'll be swinging for double strike for 45k, and on top of that, you do get to remove a battle card ignoring barrier that has 35k or less power, so you can KO it. So that's a form of barrier removal, and this will be hitting for 35k. And then on top of that, the leader is going to be at 10k power if they're already awakened because they activated a counter skill from when this guy swung. So okay, so now you have wasted 3 energy, and you haven't swung with your leader yet. So you can swing with your leader, draw a card, and then that's pretty cool, right? So then you have a draw a card, and you're probably going to leave that energy open so you can play the Imposing Presence twice, I believe. So you can use this for the 1 energy, and then you can also use this when you have 3 or less life. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. So we're going to leave our energy open. We're going to restand all of our Piccolos and our Gohans, I believe. No, only Piccolo. So this card at the end of turn, you can restand it. So you do have a blocker. So this deck plays like a healthy combination of defense and offense. So you can block with your Piccolo, and then you can also pretty much use Imposing Presence to survive. And if you go down to 3 life, if you ever do, you can activate Imposing Presence for free by discarding a card, and then you can play Testing the Opposition to go down to 2. There's lots of defense in this deck, which is really good, and then you also have really strong battle cards. Yeah. So now that you've done all that, and you do have managed, if you ever do manage to survive the turn, you actually in this deck can play another special beam cannon. So we're gonna charge this Gohan here. So now you're at 5 energy. You can actually just find another special beam cannon because I do play 2 copies in this deck, and all you need is 1 Z energy. So to play this card, so it's like paying 2 energies to basically give something a 20k power. So it's kind of the same as like almost a super combo almost. So you're going to pay the 2 energy, 1 to play. Well, first you need a Z charge. So let's pretend you Z charged the last turn. And then you can pay the 1 energy to play this card. And then now that your leader is here, you can actually, if they're at double strike range, you can just swing with him and then send this off to give your leader a plus 20. So you could do that. You can pay the 1 energy to send this off, and then he's like a 35k double strike. And then you still have this guy ability, so when he's swinging, you can just pretty much counterplay or force them to lose 5k. So there's a lot of like aggressive plays in this deck, and it's good forms of defense if you're playing the deck correctly. So in case you do have a Gohan in your hand, you can actually just play this guy to play the bestowed power. So for 1 energy, you can play this guy, and then he minuses something by 15k. In case you don't draw bestowed power, which is this guy right here, then you can just swing with this guy, and then play this guy out, switch this guy to rest mode or active mode. And then he plays a bestowed power with the skills negated. So if you have this in your deck still, you can just play it. And then you'll have 2 blockers. This way you can restand all of them with the backside or the Z leader ability. You can swing with this guy, swing with this guy, and at the end of turn you can restand the Piccolo at the end of turn. But the thing is, if you didn't draw this bestowed power, you can actually search it with this one. So that's one way you can search for the second one. But yeah, you can do this, swing him with this, restand him again. Like this deck can go wide as like every red deck should, because they need to go wide in order to like win the game. So then you have this guy, and you can also go tall with this guy. So yeah, you have your super combo, all these really cool cards in this deck. But yeah, that's the video for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be doing another one soon, so stay tuned for that one if you guys want to see how the other leaders are played. All right, peace out, guys.